Need a little stress relief? Love a pop of texture in your decor? Come and tear some fabric with me. This is gonna be so cute. Welcome to Purposeful Indulgence, where we inspire you to indulge in creativity, find purpose in the details, and cultivate a beautiful life. Hi, I'm Alexis with Purposeful Indulgence, and today I'm gonna show you how to make the cutest Pom Pom Bee. Multi-textured, so adorable, and multi-use. So let's get started. You're gonna wanna have a yellow and a black fabric. Doesn't matter what patterns, mix it up. They don't even have to be yellow and black, whatever you wanna do. You're gonna wanna take the width of the fabric, so this is the natural fold that was on the bolt, and you're gonna wanna tear 3 inches in width of each of these. So the width of the fabric, as it is on the bolt, 3 inches. You're gonna wanna have some twine, black yarn, wire cutters, wire to go with the wire cutters, scissors, fabric scissors, a pom-pom maker, or just some cardboard squares. So let's get started. We're gonna take our fabric strips, and the very first thing we're gonna do so that we don't have weird ends on them is cut off the ends. So I'm gonna just give it a little slice and tear that right off. And then I'm just gonna, there's gonna be a lot of string, just the way it goes. So let's do that on both of them. So we get a nice torn edge. And just pull it off. And then you're gonna take each of your 3-inch wide strips and you're gonna cut 2 cuts into each one. So we're going over about 1 inch and then about another inch so that I end up with 3 flaps. Now I cut on the folded side, that makes it so much easier. So we're gonna take those 3 and we're just gonna tear them into strips and repeat with the black. So again, this is about 3 inches. So we're gonna go in 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of a pom-pom. And then you're just gonna tear your strips. If you have any, like a lot of strings or whatever, now's a good time to clean those up. Next, we're gonna take our pom-pom maker or our cardboard square, it doesn't matter, and we're going to use the 3-inch side. So we're gonna start by adding our yellow. And usually I crisscross when I make a pom-pom, but not this pom-pom. And then we're gonna go in black. And I'm gonna put my black right side facing down, and you'll see that I'll kind of vary it as I go. And then I'll do a yellow facing down because I did the other yellow facing out. And if you have strings, don't worry about them. We'll clean them up at the end. And I'll do a black facing up. If you have a lot of strings, get them off at the beginning, and otherwise save it for the end because you're gonna be zhuzhing it up anyways. And then we'll do a yellow facing up. And a black facing down. And that just kind of varies. You know, it's a pom-pom, so there's going to be kind of pieces going every which way, facing different directions. And that just kind of gives you not an upside and a downside, if that makes sense. So now we have them all on there, and we're just going to take a piece of our twine. You can use jute. I have this really cute little baker's twine. It has a sparkle in it. That doesn't even matter, but it's easy access. You're going to take your twine and you're going to put it through and around your fabric, just like that. Then here's my trick for locking in your knot. You're going to cross it, and instead of putting it through one time like you're tying your shoes, you're going to put it through 2 times, and that will lock it in. So go ahead and lock that in, and you can see it stays a lot better. Not completely. If you use jute, it stays even better, but it will stay together while we just shimmy our pom-pom off of the Pom Pom Maker. And I always say, you kind of want to shimmy like you're taking off a pair of wet jeans. Okay. Now we're going to make sure our twine is in the middle, and we're going to pull it tight, and I kind of like hold it with my thumb, and I'm going to tie it in a knot. And then I'm going to just trim those pieces, and this is ready for the next step. The next thing we're going to do is make a little tiny yarn pom-pom. And even the 2-inch size here, I think is too big. So I'm just going to use my fingers. So I'm going to take about 2 fingers, and I'm going to go around times. And then you're going to do the same thing. You can actually use the yarn for this so that you don't have any of that white kind of poking through. And you're just going to use your fingers like the Pom Pom Maker. So we're going to feed our yarn in between our fingers on this side, and then between our fingers on this side. And before we tie, we're going to shimmy. Well, you could use a fork to do this too, but there we go. And we're going to just pull it tight and tie it in a knot. Now this time, I'm not going to trim my strings. I'm going to leave them long. Now let's make our little pom-pom head. This is the head of our bee because bee heads tend to be fuzzy. So we're going to go with a fuzzy little head. So I'm cutting through the loops on the sides, and we're just going to kind of fluff it. Now I like to put these 2 strings, or the tails, in my hand, and I'm going to fluff it, and I'm going to go around and give it a trim. So that it gets a nice round bee-shaped head. You can use any black yarn for this. You could use the thinner black yarn, like the Super Saver. This is a number 6, I believe, a super bulky. It's just what I had easy access to. It doesn't really matter. If you use a thinner yarn though, like I went around 12 times for this one, I would go around more times. The more times you go around, the more compact and fluffy your pom-pom is. So there's my little bee head. Super cute. And I'm just gonna clear off my fuzz. And we're going to take our fabric pom-pom, and we're gonna cut each side just like we did on the bee. And we're going to take, and you're separating the fabric in your pom-pom like you would tighten a ponytail. So you put your hair in a ponytail and you kind of give it that little pull. That's what you're going to do with your pom-pom. So we're going to just take our pieces that are together, and we're going to pull them separate. So you just want to pull them apart. And you don't have to do every single one. I mean, I just kind of pull and then re-pull as I go. So just kind of separate them, pull them apart, and you'll kind of feel it tighten like a ponytail does. And go the whole way around, just pulling your two pieces apart. Not two pieces, your colors, your stacks of fabric, pull them apart. And like I said, you don't have to do every single piece, just kind of get them separated, and then you can go back and refluff it as needed. And you'll kind of see as you go that you're creating stripes. And if you happen to not cut through any of them, like you still have a loop somewhere, just cut it as you go. Fabric pom-poms are so forgiving and they're so darn cute. I just can't even stand it. So I'm just separating them all. And the more you pull them apart and kind of fluff it, the bigger and fuller and fluffier your pom-pom is gonna be. And you don't want any kind of just stacked up like this. So you want to just make sure you pull them apart. And then you're just going to go, just like a regular pom-pom, any of those pieces that you have that are kind of like unruly and sticking out extra, trim them off. Any little extra strings that you have. And now you have an adorable striped bee body. And you can continue to kind of fluff it and play with it. And like I said, the more you pull at it and tug and separate your fabric, the fluffier and puffier and scrumptiouser your bee will be. Then we're going to take our, kind of find the center here, wherever you deem the center to be, and we're going to put the bee head on there. And I'm going to tie this bee head on using my yarn. And I'm going to cut those tails off and just kind of hide that in there. So there's our little bee head. And now we need to give our bee some wings and antenna. So I'm going to take this wire, I believe this is 18 gauge wire, and I'm going to form some wings. So about a foot of wire for each wing, because you have to curve it around. And we'll use that for our wings. And then we're going to take another piece, about 6-ish inches. We ish it a lot around here. There's no such thing as perfect. And we're going to make sure our bee is nice and puffed. And you'll see too that I kind of have all of my fabric going toward the back, so it almost makes like that pointed bee shape toward the back of the bee. Now we're going to take our wings and we're going to form them just like this. I'm just crisscrossing my wire, and I'm going to twist my wire where I want my bee wing to be made. Now I'm going to use this bee wing to form the next bee wing. And I'm just kind of copying off of it. And bees are kind of like eyebrows. Wings are kind of like eyebrows. Like, they don't need to match. They just need to be related, right? And then we're going to take our bee wings and we're going to poke them into the center of the bee and kind of just get it in there. Work it in. And wrap your wire around the bottom of your bee. And there's your wing. And then you're going to work your second wing. I'm just kind of using the wire to poke it into the bee's body. And then the bottom wire, I'm wrapping around the bottom. And you can use all of this fabric to cover up your wires. So fluff your fabric around your wings. And then we're going to take this last little piece, and I'm actually going to stick it. I kind of bent it in half, and it's a U shape now. And I'm going to stick it up through the head. So kind of just gently work it up through there. And then you can either keep your antennas straight, or you can take a pencil and wrap your wire around your pencil. As tight or as loose as you'd like. It's just to create a little bit of whimsy. Get your antennas going just the way you want them. And use that pencil to kind of round things out. Pull them out. And there you have a pom-pom bee. So much texture. We have the soft, and we have the metal, and we have all of that wonderful fabric pom-pom-ness. And you can put this bee in your tiered tray. You can make a ton of them and put them in a dough bowl, or you can take a skewer and you can poke that skewer up into the center of the bee's body. And just like your wire, just give it a little poke. And then you can put your bee into, a flower arrangement. And it adds like the perfect little accent. So there you have it, an adorable pom-pom bee. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you make some. If you do, be sure and send me a pic. It's all the buzz, right? You will be all the buzz if you have this in your decor. So darn cute. Thank you.